Hey, Nightwolf here, and today I'm drawing Master Gezzichai, a mysterious dragon character, one of the only dragons in Nightwolf Heroes, despite what Dark Dragon's name would suggest. He's a more mysterious character than most. He doesn't take much prevalence throughout most of the timeline, except in Ancient Ethosium, although he does have some influence in Stinkbird and Fighting Bear's story, and he does come into the story somewhat during the Shadow Infection, Wolf's second book. During Ancient Ethosium, he was one of the 7 kings. So Ancient Ethosium was a civilization that took up almost the entire continent of Wolvenel, where most of these stories take place. There were 7 kings there, Master Gezzichai being one of them, and over time, they were all given immortality, so over time they became more corrupt, and the people followed suit. Master Gezzichai was a good king, but his influence wasn't enough to stop the downward spiral, so he just left. He left to go to the jungle, living like a hermit. That's how, roughly 2,500 years later, he was able to influence Stinkbird and Fighting Bear's stories. I don't have too much experience drawing dragons, so the dragon head was kind of difficult. I had to get some help from a girl named Anna. She helped me a lot. She's an expert in dragons. Then later in this video, I also got help from Jesus again. Remember him from the Renium drawing? He helped me change the proportions a bit and fix him to make him look better. More believable. I've had his design in mind for, what's it been? A year? 2 years now? I've been developing it. I was going to make him part of the second card sheet, but now I'm deciding to make him into part of the boss card sheet. He's way too powerful. Plus, the second card sheet needed to be the Great Beasts. Couldn't just be the side characters. I struggled with this hand done here a bit. Hands are tough, as per the norm. His design's a bit complicated. The lines are a bit rough, and they get rougher. There were a whole lot of flowing lines. It especially made the outline tough. Yeah, see, that's gonna be his coat. It's hard to tell from where it is now. I wanted it to kind of complement the flowy nature of his tail. So until the outline, it's a little tough. And even then, I've heard that it's hard to tell that it's the coat until it's got colors and texture. Yeah, see, the robe gets a bit complicated. And then there's even one more step that gets more complicated. It's the underside scales. Here we go, now we start working on that. Yeah, this is around the point where I stopped to ask my friends for help. I asked Jesus for help and he told me to make the tail a little less extreme as soon as I got out of the base. If you saw the extreme curve he said it would look a bit uncomfortable, like he was straining. So this way it's a little more smooth, a little easier. Took some massive editing, but it looks better this way. I often turn to Jesus for proportion issues, because he's done a lot of research on that for his own artwork. Yeah, the thing with outlining is, in order to get a more perfect and natural line, I try and draw the lines fast, so that there's not as much time for wiggle room. This means that there's a lot of overlapping lines that I have to erase in order to make it better. It often means I have to undo and redo it because the fast lines are mainly based on instinct. It's kind of tough to get it perfect, especially the longer the line is. It used to be that Master Gezzichai had a spear instead of a staff, but it just didn't seem befitting of him. I went with a staff instead. It looks better this way too. I don't exactly know how to draw spears yet. Still working on that. This drawing shouldn't take as long as some of my others. He doesn't have any hair, so that step's just completely out. Which means the hardest parts are the outline and the shading. Yeah, my mom made the suggestion to change the fist. She said earlier it looked like a fin, so in order to make it look more like a fist, I changed its angle. Yeah, so Stinkbird's main gimmick, I bring him up because Stinkbird and Master Gezzichai are somewhat related in their gimmicks. Stinkbird's main gimmick used to be that he had plot armor. He was just lucky. He could dodge a crossbow bolt without even trying. It was like almost tangible plot armor. Nowadays it's become more distinct that he talks to the author and kind of decides fate, writes the book. But Master Gezzichai, his ability was kind of based off of Stinkbird's first ability, luck. But this time, he controls it. It's not just that he's lucky. He can, in a way, control fate and luck somewhat. Not in any big, time-changing thing. Like he can't go back and change time or really change the future much. But he can dodge crossbow bolts easily. Using that same example. It gives him more... It's what makes him seem more mystical to other people. The fact that they just can't hit him. Because no matter how they hit, or no matter what they try and do, it just doesn't work. But if I make that into a card, that'd be way too overpowered. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do for his card. I want it to be unique like all the others. I'm thinking something to do with speed. But then again, I don't know. I want to have something of his luck and fate ability in there. Yeah, like I said, the line between the coat and the tail is kind of blurry for the most part, until later in the drawing when it gets color and texture. Yeah, here we go. You can tell because of all the pausing that I'm using the ruler tool. I had to use the ruler tool a lot in this stage, because these really natural and curvy lines are kind of too tough to do with my own hand. Yeah, with this we're getting close to the end of the outline. Then comes coloring, texturing, and shading. Now I gotta fix all those overlapping lines. Yeah, sorry if this process is a bit tedious. Try and make sure it's all clean before I start the coloring. Dang, we just skip ahead past all the coloring. Now on the texturing. Sorry about that, guys. Now you can't see it, but I'm selecting all places where the texturing doesn't need to be kept, so I can do that. There you go. It's always a satisfying feeling. Now I'm changing the HSL, hue, saturation, and light to make each part, to make the color correct each part. Then I started the shading. Skipped some of that too, but with the face, that face was complicated. And so it was tough to shade it perfectly. I was going for more of a dramatic light because this drawing, I'm not giving him much of an aura at all, unlike most of the other boss cards, because he's not that powerful. He's a boss card, sure, because he kind of controls luck and fate and all that stuff, and he's also immortal, but he doesn't need an aura. So instead, to make him still look powerful and awesome like a boss card, I'm giving him dramatic shading. This should be the last step. What you can't see is I'm selecting each of these scales so that I can draw on only them. It's a tool that I learned a little while ago that I can select certain parts inside the outline and make it so that when I shade, only those parts get affected. That way I don't have to erase all the shading outside. That made it a whole lot faster. And I was trying to decide if I wanted to give him pupils or not, and I just went against it. I'm pretty sure those things, light ones on the inside of the jacket, are those called lapels? I think so, yeah. Now for the staff. I want to do something special for this one, so I used a special tool. I think it was one of the kinds of chalk tools, a softer chalk. And I'm shading it using that to give it a more natural wooden look. And then I'm trying to blend it, but it's a bit tough because I messed up with the layers a bit. The good thing about doing it on the wood is that it's okay to mess up when I'm shading the wood, because a lot of stuff in nature isn't perfect like that. It can have its own flaws and imperfections and still look good. So there we go for the background and name tag, and that's just about finished. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, email me at nightofheroes@gmail.com, or for more information, go to nightofheroes.com. Have a good day, and until next time, God bless.